you can really earn an income now on your cash. They are screening out incredibly cheap.
They'll probably, not definitely, be cheaper next week than the weeks after.
Hello investors, and welcome to another 180 Markets weekly wrap. Well friends, interest rates. Right now, the markets are all about interest rates, and specifically those rates moving higher. In fact, today, Friday morning as we were filming, the US 10-year has just hit 4.5%, which is the highest rate since 2006, so nearly a 20-year high. But even more than that, it's the speed that it's moved up here, because only 18 months ago, it was 1.5%. And so what do these rising interest rates mean? Well, a few things. Firstly, you can really earn an income now on your cash. That's correct. And there are many instruments out there now that are paying 7, 8, 9% types of rates, whereas even just a year ago, they were only between 1 and 2%. And it makes a real difference, especially to retirees. Another point, technology stocks valuations. Higher interest rates hurt the present values of these companies, the valuations, so inevitably, those shares start to come down. And finally, and this is not a technical issue, but more of a seasonal issue, we are in what is traditionally the weakest season of the year, the September-October timeframe. But it's not all doom and gloom for equities, because we are seeing signs of life in the IPO market. Finally, for the first time in over a year, we had very large IPOs that have been successful in the last week or so. ARM, Klaviyo, these companies, they're coming out with large numbers and that are being very well received. So what are we doing here at 180 Markets? Well, we are looking at those valuations, especially on the small companies, because they are screening out incredibly cheap. It's still early days and cheap can become cheaper, but we are certainly getting our shopping list ready. And now to talk more about shopping lists and what went on the markets this week, I'll turn it over to Sean.
Thanks, Greg. And as you can see, I'm in not so sunny Queensland. I came here to watch the Navy Blues tomorrow night in a preliminary final. Now, I thought before I go into the individual stocks, I'll talk a little bit about the market. As Greg would say, friends, it is terrible. You can't really make money in this environment. So I've been in this game now for a long time, probably over 20 years. And one thing I've learnt is you make most of your money in a good market. And in a market like this, you've got to preserve your capital and you've got to stop having as many losses as possible. Now, obviously it's easier said than done. So the best thing to do is to not really watch the market when it's like this. There are so many what seem like good opportunities because the share prices are cheaper, but guess what? They'll probably, not definitely, be cheaper next week and the weeks after. A lot of people try and pick the bottom, but there's a very good saying. If you try and pick the bottom, you'll end up with a smelly finger. I'd rather miss out on the first 10 to 15% of a rally than trying to pick the bottom. There are a lot of placements still happening, which is great, but I'm finding I'm losing money on any placements I take. Look, that may not be great promotion for our business, but the business is making investors money, and right now, this is not the time. So I've gone away, as you can see, and try and stay away from the screen. But I am going to go to the wrap because there are movers this week and there were placements. Let's start off with placements, and as we said, it's very tough out there. So the first placement we'll look at was the biggest one of the week, Alligator Energy, AGE. Now they ended up raising $25 million at 5.2 cents. Already it's below the issue price and the shares haven't been allotted. There were options there. I think it was 1 for 2, and there will be an SPP to come. That was led by Taylor Collison and Bells. Now, I've got the 5-year chart open, and if we go all the way back to the end of 2021, 180 Markets actually led a capital raise there at 0.6 of a cent, and that came with free options. So yeah, that was in a different type of market, and all investors did really well on that. Next placement we'll take a look at is BBX. So that one, let's take a look on the 180 Markets platform, because we actually did a behind the wall on that one, and that ended up raising more than the target amount of 4 to 5. They ended up taking 6 million in a 2-tranche deal. It was done at 2.7 cents, and that was done to fund the repayment of Lynn Partners and continue their regional drilling and completion of their rare earth estimates. Sorry, my daughter wrote some notes there for me, and her handwriting isn't as good as it should be. Let's take a look then at OZM. That is a very good performing raise. So they raised money at 7.5, and let's take a look here. They are currently trading up extremely well at 16 cents. Let's look at the chart there. We'll change it to a 1-year chart. So that placement has done exceptionally well, and well done to investors that took that. Next, let's take a look at CDR. So they're currently suspended. Just to show you how tough the market is, they have changed the deal terms. Instead of 2 for 3 options, investors will now be given 1 for 1 options. And let's look at the chart there. And instead of 2 tranches, it's only going to be 1 tranche. So hopefully they can raise the money there. And CDR did release some good results during the week, but not enough to excite investors. All right, what else do we have on the 180 Markets platform? MGU, that was last week. CAE raised money this week at 10 cents a share, which was a small discount to the 12-cent offering. That one was another behind the wall at 180 Markets. So make sure you are receiving the behind the wall deals that we're sending out. There are quite a few. LEX, not one that I've followed recently. Let's take a look there. LEX, they raised money at 16 cents, so they're currently trading at 18. Let's take a look at the chart over there. Not the best looking chart, but still trading above the raise price, and they were going out to raise $3.5 million. All right, let's look at movers this week. So I'm going to start with one, MFC. So I won't put it in there because it doesn't come up. So MFC, we've just written Melbourne Football Club can't kick, and that loses matches. Next, let's take a look at some lithium stocks, because they have been a terrible performing sector. Let's look at Sayona, one of our favorites here. Now, we mentioned this a lot in the good old days when it ran hard, but look at that chart over the last couple of months. It's just consistently falling. They did last raise money at 18 cents, trading at half that. So a terrible performer. PLS, another of the lithium past darlings, Pilbara Minerals. Let's look at the chart over there, lovely daughter. They are trading down a lot, especially over the past few weeks. They are a little bit up today, so there's a little bit of a bounce, but these lithium stocks have lost a lot of their gains. CHR, now they released news this morning, currently trading down almost 30%. Their drilling results from their lithium project. Let's look over there. We can open it up, and look, it's hard. You've got to understand announcements to know what the share price is going to do. It's hard to tell from this, but smart investors will know that these aren't good results, and the market has punished the stock. Now, some ups from the week. Let's take a look at one of our favorites here, 40S. So they are trading at 16 cents. Look at that chart over there. That's an amazing chart. So this week they announced further significant success on their fourth lot project. Further analysis has improved the results, and a lot of people are comparing this one now to stocks with a lot higher market caps. So hopefully it keeps going up. WC8. Now, that one went up on Monday while I was enjoying my holiday, so I didn't follow that closely, but let's look at the chart. It just looks like a V-shaped recovery there after they released major lithium discovery at their Tabba Tabba project in Western Australia. And just finally, let's take a look at BUS. BUS was a great performer this week. Let's look at that chart. That is amazing. Guess what? Lithium. Lithium acquisitions. So there are heaps of lithium acquisitions at the moment, and companies that can't raise money just put funds into lithium. All right, turn the camera on to me, daughter. That's a wrap. Obviously, I'm just thinking about the footy at the moment, hoping for a big win tomorrow from the Blues that'll get us into the grand final. And you probably won't see me for a few weeks if that happens. But yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks for watching another 180 Markets Weekly Wrap. If you want access to thousands of capital raises, sign up at 180markets.com.au and you'll get access to our very next capital raise. Thanks for watching.